Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of January 1st through January 7th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now let's find out what your general energy is. We've got this card jumping out of the deck right here, so that's going to be our mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. We're not going to look at that until the very end, so stick around to the end of the video, and hopefully that will be the card that ties everything together and gives us the confirmation that we're looking for at the very end, right? But let's see, how do we begin? What is the message that's coming through? Seven of Discs. All right, let's put that into some context using our Dove and Serpent spread. And let's see what we've got. Some court cards. We've got a lot of fire energy. We got some water, some swords, and some majors. So I think it's a fairly good balance. I think right now what's going on presently this week is a lot of fire. It seems like for you Sagittarius, we've had a lot of fire recently. In the past few readings, I think there's been a lot of energy, a lot of force, a lot of power, a lot of ambition applied to things in your life. And I think that this is probably some more of the same. It might be a bit of an emotional situation. I don't think it's a relationship, kind of like a romantic relationship anyway. I think it's business, career, or more life path related, right? I don't think it's a romantic relationship. I think it's something to do with the work that you do, the business that you're in. With this Seven of Discs, I feel like the week that you're in right now is not a week to really reap the rewards, okay? I don't think that this is the week where you're going to see the payoff for all of the hard work, okay? I think it's more than likely a week of continuing the effort, right? All the fire that we've built up in the past few weeks with the last few readings, I think all of that momentum needs to keep going. And I can understand that it might seem a little discouraging this week when you've been putting in all of this work, but you're not getting the returns yet, okay? Please don't despair. Those results are coming. I do feel like there are a lot of rewards that are just kind of building up for you. You're putting in a lot of work, a lot of effort here, okay? But this is the week to maintain that, to continue, okay? And it may be a little bit disheartening to see that, you know, it's yet another week of all of this hard work and you're not yet seeing the payoff. You're not yet seeing the gains for it. And that's what I get. That's the message kind of coming through with this Seven of Discs, that it's this is the time where you're kind of being tested. Do you really have the dedication to this, the endurance to see it through? Okay. So this is kind of like the final test to see, you know, if you can maintain, if you can make this last push, and then you can get to these rewards, this payday, this payoff, whatever it is that's coming as a result of all of this work that you're doing. And then also we see this universe or world card that is crossing that Seven of Discs this week. So I do feel like this is, one, kind of been a long stretch, right? And I think you're feeling that. I think it is starting to feel like it's not really going anywhere. There's no progress. There's no rewards coming in. But I do feel like with this universe or world card, the message is also about it being a test, right? Like, is this where you're supposed to be in life? Is this do you have the heart for this, right? Is this your place in the world? Are you dedicated to this work that you're doing? And it could literally be anything. We see so much fire here that I think that it's, you know, it's something that you feel very passionately about, something that you have a strong connection to. Maybe find a lot of meaning in whatever work you're doing. This could be in your personal life, could be in your professional life, could be the creative, spiritual work that you do. Whatever your focus on, whatever your work is, right? And it's not always the work that we do for money. You know what I mean? It's the work that is more soul satisfying. The work that is more an expression of your spirit and your creativity. Whether there's money or not, it's kind of beside the point, right? And I think this week, whether this is some financial gain that you're expecting, or whether this is just the spiritual progress that you hope to be making, I think this is the week where you're just being tested. Do you have the resolve to continue on this path? for, a longer period of time, despite the fact that you're still kind of waiting for these rewards, right? It's kind of, are you going to be sticking to the journey? Are you committed to the work and not just to the results of the work? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So with the universe card, I do feel like it's being kind of stretched out. It's a length of time that you have to kind of endure the hard work without seeing the rewards, the benefits coming in. And then furthermore, with this world card or universe card, I'm getting a feeling like this is your particular question. Okay. I think this is maybe the reason why you're here today watching this video, is because of this question, because of this universe or world card. Maybe this card came up for you in some other readings. Maybe this was in your own, personal readings that you do for yourself. You've seen this card before or a version of it in different tarot decks. But I feel like this is kind of your question. You want to know, how long are you going to have to wait? How much longer do you have to just keep at this work before you start seeing the results of it? Okay, so I think this is kind of your specific question today. And hopefully we can answer that, But let's go to the recent past now. We see fire on fire. This is some, that initial impulse of that fiery energy. This is the real ambition and enthusiasm to get started. I think whatever work you're doing, you really went like hard from the beginning, right? You really just went all in, tremendous force, tremendous ambition. Maybe you had some expectations of what it would be like. You had this enthusiasm. And now that enthusiasm, this initial rush of fire, is maybe starting to wane a little bit. It's starting to become a little bit tempered. You're starting to see, wow, this is just going to be a lot of hard work, right? I think it's like that very often when we start any kind of project. We're very enthusiastic, very ambitious, very excited at the beginning. And once that kind of wears off, that's the real test, right? Do you have the heart to stick with it, to get to the end, to get to the goal, to get your satisfaction, to see your progress, And I think this is where a lot of people they give up and they turn to something else that has this initial rush of enthusiasm, okay? But I don't see that with you. I see you sticking to this. And that's why we have this rather negative, rather sinister looking card, this Seven of Discs. I think this is showing that, yes, you will continue with this work, even though it is difficult work, even though you're not seeing the immediate results, the immediate gains from the work. I think this shows your commitment and your endurance and your real hard-working attitude that is persisting despite this initial rush of fire tempering or being somewhat lessened by the hard work here. The next card that I want to go to is, let's do this, Princess of Wands. Now, I said you were surrounded by fire, right? Everywhere you turn, there's going to be fire this week. So if you look upwards, you look at like your goals, your aspirations, I think kind of what you're focusing on a little bit in terms of what your conscious mind wants, right? What your personality wants, is that initial rush of fire again. You want that adrenaline feeling. You want that excitement, that enthusiasm that comes with starting new projects. And I can relate to that. Whenever I get started on a new passion project or start studying some new subject or get started creating something new, it's so exciting. It's so, there's just a rush of passion and enthusiasm when I get started. But then once I start doing the work, then it feels like, man, that excitement is worn off. Now it's just the hard work. And that's the period of really being tested. Are you going to see it through? Are you going to complete this project to the end, or at least to the next resting point? And I think this is our temptation. This is kind of what your conscious mind is kind of lured to or looks toward. And that's the new opportunity for that excitement. This is kind of, well, that excitement is worn off here. Let me turn this way and get this excitement, this adrenaline rush from some other subject or some other, work. But I think this is what you have to try not to be distracted by. Your conscious mind, your personality, your desire body is going to be lured by these kinds of new activities, right? But the idea is to stay focused on the here and now and not really try not to look outward too much at all of these other things that look exciting, right? Because you'll be right back in the same boat, I think. That initial rush will wear off and you'll be right back to this long, drawn-out process of hard work, right? And I think that, again, I think that's your question. How long are you going to have to just be in this spot doing this work before you start to see the results? Okay. And we have one more card to go to before we get to the immediate future, which I think will be fairly satisfying. Beneath the surface, we have this Seven of Wands. This is a very natural placement, especially in terms of all of this other fire energy. Okay, this is this unconscious feeling, this tendency to be provoked, kind of, to be tempted to give up when things get really tough. When you start to see this grueling kind of hard work, and this card looks dismal, right? When you're faced with this, and you're faced with that for a kind of unknown period of time, when you're faced with this, it looks a little dark, a little dismal, a little sinister. And I think it's easy to then kind of have this kind of feeling welling up from down below that just says, yeah, this was a mistake. This was too much. I can't handle this. I'm not really up to the task. This is stronger than me. I'm not ready for this yet. You know, it's a lot of this kind of this convincing ourselves that we don't have the power, the stamina, the confidence to do this, the spirit, the vitality. Okay, Seven of Wands. This shows that part of you feels like this little measly stick in the middle of these very strong, powerful wands. Okay, so this is you feeling like you're just really not up to the task. You're not as powerful to match this work, this obligation, this thing that you're doing, right? Spiritual work, professional work, even something to do with your home, your relationships. So this is that unconscious kind of devil on your shoulder that says, hey, it's okay to quit. This is not your time. You're not quite strong enough for this one yet. Okay. And this also is to be resisted. And the focus is to be kept on the here and now, even though it's not very pretty. And it's not showing you really the beauty and harmony and success and abundance that you want right now. This is where you're at. If you look too far above you, too far below you, you're going to be tempted to quit the work that you're doing. You're going to be tempted. You're going to be lured away. Okay. The immediate future, Four of Wands. Yes, I do see this phase of your work wrapping itself up fairly soon. The 4 days, 4 weeks, maybe 4 months. Could be 4 years. But I think immediate future, I think probably 4 days, 4 weeks at the most. You'll start to see that this phase of things, this cycle is going to wrap itself up. Okay, you're going to get to a resting point. Okay, a temporary resting point. Okay, it's not the summit. It's just a temporary ridge where you can catch your breath and then keep climbing. All right. So I think that this is the good news. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, whatever endeavor you're in the middle of, whatever work you are doing, whatever path you are on, I think 4 days, 4 weeks, it's going to start wrapping up, and you're going to see the end of this portion of it. Okay, so you'll start to see where you're going to get a little bit of a break, and then you're also going to see how much more of the mountain you have left to climb. Okay, 4 days, 4 weeks, I think. Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And let me know in the comments how you're feeling, what you think about this, if this is resonating with you, okay? Moving over to the path of the serpent now. You're starting to feel a little bit disheartened, okay? 5 of Cups. There's some stirring in your emotional body, okay? You feel a deep connection with this work that you're doing, and it's starting to make you feel a little conflicted, or a little, maybe let down is the phrase, right? Maybe a little bit disappointed. Could be that you were expecting this to be something different, more exciting, more rewarding, more obvious, right? Maybe more overt. But your expectations have kind of been dashed a little bit. You're feeling kind of conflicted. You're feeling a little bit of turmoil. Your emotional body is starting to kind of stir up a lot of feelings, right? And I think this is an effort on your part to reconnect with the meaning, right? To really remember why you're here, and not to remember mentally, right? This is not a 3 of swords, right? These are cups. So it's about finding that feeling again and holding on to it. Not mentally, but spiritually, in your emotional body. What does this feel like? What does it feel like when you're on the path? What did it feel like at the very beginning? Not that rush of fire and enthusiasm, but the meaning, that spiritual feeling almost, right? It's about, I think the 5 of Cups, there's a lot of movement here, and I think you're searching in your emotional body to find that meaning again, to find that feeling. Not the memory of it, not the intellectual understanding of it, but finding the feeling again, okay? And I don't know how long ago you began this work, or this phase of your work, but I think that feeling was there, and I think that maybe now it's difficult to find it again, or to re-experience that feeling. And I think that's kind of comes with the territory, right? I think we have this initial feeling, we try to hold on to it as long as we can, then we just get to work. We start doing the work, and our mind may start to try to convince us otherwise. You know, our body may start to kind of rebel against the work. But we hold fast to our tasks, okay? We keep doing it even though we don't have a firm grasp on this feeling yet, or anymore, or if we ever did. But at times like this, when you're starting to kind of question or doubt or have these feelings of, you know, alternatives, you know, it might be a good idea to search for that feeling again, right? Try to take yourself back to the beginning when you had that feeling. Don't hold on to the memories. Don't relive the memories. Not a 3 of Swords. But find that feeling again and hold on to that feeling. Experience it for as long as you can and get back to work. Use that as the focus. Use that as the focal point. Next card is 2 of Swords. This is usually a card that's kind of the connection card, the relationship card, how you are connecting or relating to people or to these events, right? And this 2 of Swords could be this kind of inner dilemma where, you know, is it worth it? Should I continue? Or should I do something else? Should I stop the work that I'm doing? Kind of a yes or no. It's kind of a, I think it's a false dichotomy here. I can never say that word. I think that in your mind itself likes to look at things in terms of yes or no. Should I, shouldn't I? Do I go this way or that way? It's really black and white, right? It's really kind of either or. But I don't think it is that way in reality. You know, I don't think it's a matter of should you focus on something else for a while? Well, maybe. You know, maybe taking a mental or emotional or spiritual break and focusing on something else for a little while is part of this work that you're doing. And it would be a good way to just kind of rest and recharge and then get back to it. But if this is the question of should you completely abandon the work, I don't think that is an option, because even in your new cycle, your new endeavor, if you were to succumb to these 2 above or below your present situation and search for something else that has that spark, you're going to be right back where you were anyway. So there is no abandoning the work. So this is really a false dichotomy here. And I think in terms of your relationships with other people, I think that there is a also this kind of black or white attitude, like you're either for me or you're against me, right? And I think that's kind of coming out through this frustration of being right here in the middle of this fire, being right here where you are. You're getting a little bit short with people, perhaps, where it's either, if you're not supporting this work and helping me out, then you're hindering my work and I need to cut myself off from you. So I feel like there's a little bit of that going on with you too. With all this fire around you, it's easy to just kind of lash out at people because you're in a ring of fire, right? So, you're pretty defensive, I think, in general. So I think this is also relating to how you're interacting with people. And that comes with the territory, I feel. The next card is that feeling that we're looking for, right? This is the beauty and harmony. This is that spiritual feeling, that spiritual experience, that just kind of warm, fuzzy feeling that you had when you first started this work, right? Whatever this thing is, it's not the fiery passion and excitement and enthusiasm. This is that spiritual, that more intuitive feeling, that more just kind of love and joyful feeling, And I think this is what you're searching for with the Five of Cups. And this is what I have been saying, that you need to find your way back to that and hold on to it for as long as you can. And this is what it looks like. Six of Cups, beautiful, harmonious, balanced, really radiant and shining. It's so joyful. It's almost the kind of love and joy that would bring you to tears. You know what I mean? It's not the exciting, and it has the motivating force like the fire does. But this is more subtle. It's more internal, it's more emotional, more watery, right? And this is what we're looking for. But this card's in the position of your fears, worries, and concerns. It's the concern card. So I think part of the issue, and especially with this fire here, is what if you can't get back to this feeling? Right? What if you don't succeed in experiencing this kind of spiritual connection with your work again? Right? I think you can intellectually remember what it felt like when you first began. But how do you get this feeling back in the moment, in the midst of this work again? That's the obstacle, right? And I don't know that we can succeed in getting that feeling back. But I think it's worth the effort. I think coming as close to it as we can is worth the effort. But we can't let the fear of not attaining that get in our way. Okay, I think that's why this is the concern card. The next card, the end of the path of the serpent, hermit energy. There we go. This is really buckling down, turning inwards, finding your motivation, finding that guiding light, finding that spiritual feeling inside of us, and really just bearing down and doing the work, right? Trusting in things, trusting in your own inner light, which is what the hermit does, carries his light, her light, not gender specific, and really just gets lost, becomes immersed in this kind of wilderness, and just enters into this and does the work. Whatever is required, it will do. Okay? It has that inner certainty. It has this faith, hope, this trust, this guiding light, this spiritual, look, these are lamps, right? These are lamps, just like the hermit's lamps. So the hermit carries within it this spiritual feeling, this guiding light, this principle, this meaning that we've been talking about. So I think this is kind of the way that you're going to succeed here. It's just to just bear down and do it. Find the meaning, find that purpose within yourself. Hold on to it. Hold on to your lamp. Hold on to these several lamps. And do the work. I think 4 days, 4 weeks, you'll start to see things wrapping up. Don't give up now. You're so close. Let's look at the confirmation card. It's my favorite part of the reading. I typically like to use my psychic abilities, just kidding, to see what this card would be, to guess what this would be. But today, honestly, I don't know. I think maybe 9 or a 10 of discs, right? To show that tangible results are coming in. And that's the You know, that's what you're kind of asking about. Are you going to see any kind of benefit from all of this work? Or is it just going to be work day in and day out? No end in sight? Let's find out. Well, we've got more fire. The 11th mystery of the tarot, the Lust or Strength card. This card is the best expression of this fire. It's the Leo fire, right? The Leo energy fire. That is sustained. It is not, it's fixed, right? It's not going anywhere. It's in perfect control of itself, of its circumstances. It will not give up, right? Just for the sense of pride, really, it's not going to quit, right? It doesn't matter how long this is going to take, it's not going to give up. And this is the kind of spirit that you need right now. I think this is the secret force and fire of this hermit who has found their meaning, found their lamp, found their spiritual connection again, rediscovered it, going at things with this fire energy. And the fire, I swear I'm going to get this overhead camera really soon. A couple more months maybe. But if you could see all of this, if we put this Lust or Strength card right in the middle of the path of the dove, it's kind of using all of this fire energy that's around it and these 4 placements. It's right in the center. It's using those as tools. It's controlling these rather than being controlled by them. And I think that is the perfect confirmation here. This is better than, you know, just saying, oh yeah, okay, 9 or 10 of discs, you're going to get your rewards. You're going to see the tangible results. Yes. I think we know that already because we've got this 4 of wands showing that 4 days or 4 weeks, things are going to wrap up. You're going to see the cycle completed. You're going to get to the resting point. Yeah. So long as you incorporate this, you allow this into your life, you invoke this, you call this down into yourself, right? And use it. Allow it to flow through you. This is that, you know, kind of positive attitude, that optimistic, really proud, really energetic, and enduring fire energy. Okay, I think this is the confirmation that we need to keep you going in this path of the dove here. And I think this hermit and this water energy that we had on the path of the serpent is a very important component to you invoking this kind of Leo energy, right? This fixed fire energy, right? We're going to take a look in the extended a little bit. Maybe we'll just take a deeper look into that Lust or Strength card to see what other messages it might have for us. If you want to become a member to the channel, you can click on the link in the description box, and it's a great way to support the channel, and you have access to all of the extended readings that we do. This was your weekly tarot reading for January 1st through 7th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.